Hello everyone. Welcome to Hallie Explore by Haley. Imagine you've just landed in Vietnam. It's early in the morning and you're wandering through the streets. The air is warm, scooters are buzzing by, and suddenly you catch this incredible smell, fragrant, rich, slightly sweet, with a hint of spice. You follow it and there it is, a steaming hot bowl of pho. Now, if you ask any Vietnamese person what dish represents their country the best, almost all of them will say the same thing, pho. But here's the fun part, pho is not just food. It's a story about history, daily life, culture, and even identity. So in the next 30 minutes, let's explore the world of pho together, where it came from, how it's made, why it's different in the North and the South, and what it means to the people of Vietnam. And along the way, I'll give you a few insider tips so you can enjoy your own bowl of pho like a local. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is pho? When a bowl of pho is placed in front of you, the first thing you notice is the broth, clear, golden, shimmering. Then there are the flat white rice noodles, soft and silky. On top, slices of beef or chicken, sometimes raw beef that cooks instantly in the hot soup. On the side, a plate of herbs, bean sprouts, chili, and lime. But what really captures you is the aroma. The smell is unforgettable. Star anise, cinnamon, roasted onion, ginger. It's both exotic and comforting at the same time. And the taste? Well, it's layered. The broth is savory, a little sweet, sometimes slightly spicy, and always incredibly smooth. Now let me ask you, if you had this bowl in front of you right now, what would you add first? Would you squeeze in the lime? Add chili? Or just taste the broth as it is? Let's rewind about 100 years. Pho is believed to have been born in northern Vietnam, around Hanoi, in the early 20th century. At that time, French colonial influence was strong, and some say the name pho comes from the French pot au pho, a kind of beef stew. But here's what makes pho special. The Vietnamese didn't copy, they reinvented. They took inspiration and turned it into something lighter, more fragrant, perfectly suited to the local taste and climate. In the beginning, pho wasn't served in restaurants. Instead, vendors walked around with wooden poles carrying two baskets, one with a pot of broth, the other with noodles and condiments. They would set up shop right on the sidewalk, and people would gather on little stools to eat before rushing off to work. So from the start, pho was street food. Affordable, quick, and for everyone. As pho traveled south, it changed. And today, if you try pho in Hanoi and then in Ho Chi Minh City, you'll notice big differences. Northern pho is like a minimalist painting. The broth is clear and elegant, the flavor subtle, the topping simple, just beef, noodles, and green onions. It's about balance and purity. Southern pho is like a colorful festival. The broth is richer and slightly sweeter. The side plate is huge, bean sprouts, basil, cilantro, sawtooth herb, lime, and chili. You can make your bowl taste different every time. So which one is better? Well, that depends on you. If you love subtlety, go north. If you love variety, go south. And if you have the chance, try both. You'll taste two sides of Vietnam's personality. Now, let's peek into the kitchen. Making good pho is like creating a symphony. It takes time, patience, and skill. The broth is the heart. Beef bones are simmered for 8 to 12 hours, sometimes even longer. But the heat must stay low. If it boils too hard, the broth turns cloudy. Before adding them, spices are roasted. Star anise, cinnamon, cloves, cardamom, ginger, onions, they're charred until fragrant. This gives the broth its depth and warmth. The noodles are made from rice flour. They should be soft, but not mushy, slippery, but not sticky. The beef is sliced paper-thin so it cooks instantly when the hot broth touches it. And finally, the herbs and condiments. This is where the diner becomes the artist. You taste, you adjust, you balance flavors to your own liking. No two bowls of pho are ever exactly the same. In Vietnam, pho is part of daily life. For many people, it's breakfast. Picture a busy Hanoi street at 7 a.m., motorbikes passing, people rushing to work, and in the middle of it all, small shops with customers hunched over steaming bowls. That's the true flavor of a Vietnamese morning. But it's not just breakfast. People eat pho for lunch, dinner, even late at night after a party. It's comfort food, it's social food, and it's always satisfying. For travelers, eating pho is almost a rite of passage. You haven't really experienced Vietnam until you've sat on a little stool, holding chopsticks in one hand, spoon in the other, and slurped your way through a bowl. Today, pho has traveled far beyond Vietnam. Thanks to Vietnamese communities abroad, you can find pho in Paris, Sydney, Los Angeles, Tokyo, you name it. It's become a global favorite. Sometimes foreigners pronounce it differently, pho for pho. But once they taste it, they remember it. In fact, CNN Travel listed pho among the world's most delicious foods. What's amazing is that even abroad, pho still keeps its soul. It carries Vietnam's story across borders, acting as a cultural ambassador. So, what does pho mean to Vietnamese people? It's history born during cultural exchange. It's patience, because good broth takes time. It's community, because eating pho often means sharing space with others. And above all, it's identity, because wherever we go, pho reminds us of home. Ask any Vietnamese living abroad what they miss most, and many will say, a proper bowl of pho. So, my friends, pho is much more than a bowl of noodles. It's a story of Vietnam itself, its history, its flavors, its people. When you come to Vietnam, don't just eat pho, experience it. Go to a local stall, sit on those little plastic stools, watch the steam rise, and take that first sip slowly. At that moment, you're not just eating. You're sharing in a tradition that has connected generations. Thank you for joining me on this delicious journey. I hope next time you see a bowl of pho, whether here in Vietnam or somewhere else in the world, you'll remember today's story and taste Vietnam in every spoonful.